employees like their status quo. Oftentimes they don't have the strategic lens that a lot of the executives of an organization may have. So they may think things are actually going well and may not understand why a change is necessary for the organization as a whole. So strategic alignment, or more of that tactical worldview that an employee faces, may allow them to question, why do we even need to change in the first place? Most organizations know the measurements that impact their business. They know the KPIs, they know the leading indicators that ultimately measure success or failure for their business. Dollars and cents. Ultimately, profit-driven organizations have a financial measurement that they look at. But going down into employee metrics, employee performance, there's an often overlooked element to that as well on the qualitative side that is not collected in your everyday measures. And part of implementing and measuring successful change is looking at your existing measures that you would look at for the health of your business, but pulling in new measures to understand how the reaction to that change is going. Oftentimes you've got to get those qualitative, unknown underlying, how do people feel, how are they reacting to change, get those data points in and look at, compare and do some causal analysis between your existing metrics to the employee's reaction during the change to be able to measure effectively how your employees are affecting change. And as you start implementing the change and you're mapping into what those processes and what the technology connections are, what your employees are actually doing, not what you think they are doing or what their job description says, but what they're actually doing, you realize that the change that you may have identified to implement may not necessarily be the right change anymore. So you've got a critical decision to make. Are you going to stick to the original plan, or are you going to be agile and adjust the plan as more intelligence, more evidence, and more data points come into the fold? In most organizations, they don't have the team around them to help adjust to these new data points and change the plan while in motion. And what that often leads to is this plan just can't work, we're going to stop it, or we're going to attempt to adjust without knowing how to react to those data points, which again increases timelines and ultimately leads to a never-ending change management that does not get to the outcome that you were seeking to get to. All of those data points are already there within the organization. You probably already even know where to find it. It's going to be the metrics, the performance metrics that come into your dashboards, into your weekly and monthly reporting. It's going to be your standard operating procedures. It's going to be your organizational design. You know who your top performers are. You know what your leading indicators are. Boxes and lines, SOPs, black and white text. They tell a story. It's an aspirational story, but oftentimes in the underlying how things are actually operated, there are process adherence issues. People do things a certain way because that's how they were taught. There are going to be little discrepancies that you need to have transparency and visibility over to make sure that you're actually implementing the right change management strategy.